Hi, cat. Come and get some mango, baby.
One, two, 1, 2, 3. Self-awareness is a superpower. My name is KathyLaDonna. Welcome to Soul and Vibration. I hope the free thinkers are doing well. And if you're not doing well, I'm happy to remind you that you are the most powerful person that you know. You are the most powerful person that you know because only you can create your reality. Hey guys, today is Saturday, ruled by Saturn Day. Today is Saturday, Saturn Day, December 21st, and the energies in the day adds up or reduced to the number 5 vibration. If today is your birthday, happy birthday. So the spirit guidance for today is the moth energy, and it is in the reversal position. So the moth deals with the mind element, and when it's in the reversal position, it brings me to not being able to come to a conclusion about something that allows you to make the change that's needed. Not being able to come to a conclusion. And again, the reason why we can't come to a conclusion on a thing most of the time, probably like 90-something% of the time, is because we're afraid of the unknown. So because we're afraid of the unknown, we'll say, I don't know what to do, but you do know what to do. And what has been beneficial to me is to sit down and look at, like, you know, the thing that I fear happening. Like, okay, if this happens, then what would I do? And it's like, okay, if this happens, then I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. And then once I'm aware of what I'll do if this or that happens, then just let it go and live my life, because it's so easy to get caught up worrying about false evidences appearing to be real. So, you know, when it comes to today's energy, there's something around the mind coming to a conclusion about something. And with today, the day adds up or reduced to number 5. The number 5 deals with communication. Number 5 is ruled by Mercury. The day is the 21st. The 2 + 1 is 3. That's also a communicative energy that deals with expression. So there's big emphasis on expression today, but something around the throat chakra feels restricted. There is definitely something restricted when it comes to expression. And I look at how Saturn is the ruler of the day, because it's Saturn Day, and Saturn is in Pisces, and it is a part of, it's being squared on every angle. But what stood out is the square between Mercury and Sagittarius and Saturn and Pisces. So there's something around communication and information that feels blocked or feels restricted. But I feel like that was even since yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. There's something, because with yesterday's energy, it felt like something flowed over from Thursday, where a person may have was outspoken about something, or express themselves about something, or let a truth be known, and then Friday questioning if they spoke too much, or if they said too much, or feeling guilty for asserting themselves in some way. And when we come to today, I feel like there's still emphasis when it comes to that. But the thing about today's energy also is that with the day adding up and reducing to number 5 vibration, the number 5 dealing with sudden and unexpected changes, instead we'll find ourselves wanting to escape reality and not feel whatever it is that we need to feel about our current situation. Because for me, pain is a bookmark that holds space for your transformation. So when it comes to our feelings and the way things make us feel, like, there's a lot of power within that, because that's where we can, you know, like I said, pain is a bookmark that holds space for your transformation. So it's like the feeling has this invisible cord attached to it that's going to take you deep within yourself and bring something to your attention that needs to be released, that needs to be resolved, that needs to be understood. And it's like once that energy is observed it's understood or you become aware of it, it's like it could now like flow instead of being restricted within some area within the body. So there's a blessing when it comes to feeling pain. It brings me to the thought of this song. And there's a line in the song that says, happy is the heart that still feels pain. I love whenever I hear that song, and I love that part because it will just remind me that no matter how many heartbreaks and disappointment you experience, if you could still feel pain, then it means you're alive. If you could still feel pain, it means you're alive. So it's powerful to be able to feel. But today's one of those days where we might not want to allow ourselves to feel, because whatever the conclusion is to a thing, it might not be something that we feel like we have the strength or the tools to deal with. And I get the feeling of like, so with the moon being in Virgo, I know this energy all too well of anticipating a thing so much to the point that, you know, I make it bigger than what it is, lose sleep. And then when the day comes or the time comes, it's just not that serious. It could be as simple as driving down the highway and looking far ahead and seeing a congestion of cars up there. And, you know, things have slowed down so much. And it's like, you know, I'm driving through and it's like nervous, like what's happening up there? This doesn't happen anymore, but this used to happen a lot where it's like, I'm anticipating what's ahead only to get ahead and it's just not that serious. Like everything just flows through. But as I'm anticipating it'll even go to me anticipating recording, where it's like, okay, today's the day I'm going to be recording, and I'll anticipate, get nervous and whatnot. But over time, you know, you're aware of the feelings that you feel, aware of the fear. And I push past it to the point where it's like, okay, today's the day I got to record. Yes, in the back of my mind, those feelings, they never go nowhere. They're still there. They're just not as dominant because I don't feed them. But for me, when it comes to every feeling, every negative emotion, I don't believe in just jumping to ignoring it, because that's what allowed that ball of energy to get stuck within us, because it needs to be resolved. So for me, whenever I feel some type of way, I ask questions. What is it? What am I feeling? When's the first time that I felt this? Why do I feel this? This thing that I'm feeling, you know, are the thoughts around it true? Who made it true? Who decides it's true? And once I ask a bunch of questions to myself to debunk this BS idea that's within me, this limiting belief within me, once I ask a bunch of questions to get to the truth of it, then I come up with an affirmation to replace, you know, the negative self-talk that I had before. And then once I get to that point, yeah, it doesn't hold the power that it has. It'll still be there, but you know, you just brush it to the side, look past it. So when it comes to the tarot, we have the Knight of Cups, and it came out in the reversal position. So with the Knight of Cups in the reversal position, it brings me to the feeling of like vulnerability and holding back emotions. It brings me to the thought of someone not wanting to be the one to put themselves out there out of fear of like rejection or out of some kind of fear. And for me, it comes down to like how you choose to see a thing. Like why we would choose to see like being vulnerable as a loss or weakness or whatnot. And for me, when it comes to today's energy, not wanting to feel there's big things about not wanting to feel. And I feel like not wanting to feel helps us to avoid something that needs to be addressed within us. But it just feels like since yesterday, there's this need to avoid something. And with Mercury, with the moon in Virgo and being squared by Mercury in Sag and Jupiter in Gemini, yeah, the moon, the inner world, our feelings, doesn't want to deal with the thoughts because something is required, something is expected. So for some people, maybe you're getting ready to move soon. Maybe there's a deadline that you're dealing with. And the thought of having to move, the thought of this deadline, the thought of this thing that's coming up, it just paralyzes you in place. It's crippling. it's crippling. And it's like, I don't even want to deal with this today. I don't even want to feel this today. So today's energies are one of those where it's like, you said you quit drinking and might find yourself taking a sip type of vibe. You said you quit junk food or sugar, and for whatever reason, it's like, you know, the sugar ain't no good, but it's like, you can't even hear that side of yourself as you find yourself getting up and making your way to go get that thing, because it's like, I just don't want to feel. I just don't want to feel is what I'm getting when it comes to today's energy. With the moon in Virgo, just be careful of being too critical with yourself. Like, I remember when I used to speak so poorly to myself and about myself. And when I think about that, it shows how much we could grow, because again, it comes back to awareness. Once I aware, like, I don't remember what I saw or what I thought. It might have been like me having a conversation within my head and questioning things. And I think I questioned, like, would I speak to a small child this way? Like, if a small child made a mistake, would I speak to them this way? And it's like, hell no, I wouldn't, because they're a child. If they knew better, they would have done better. And even if they know better, they clearly don't, why they did what they did. And it's like, why isn't that extended to me? And it's like, I had to question myself, like, you know, why isn't that extended to me? So it's like, over time, you know, I became better. And now, like, now when it comes to how I speak to myself, like, it's changed big time, And I've never been the type of person to allow nobody to talk to me crazy. But at the same time, it's like, imagine, like, if you talk to yourself with only kindness and you're gentle when it comes to talking to yourself or referring to yourself when you make a mistake, you say, if I knew better, I would have done better. So let me learn the lesson from this and move on, because this was clearly a lesson, because I didn't know any better. So I needed to experience this to gain the lesson. And you're patient with yourself, you're compassionate with yourself. It will be impossible for someone to, like, speak to you crazy, because it's like, if you don't even speak to yourself harshly, like, you would never allow someone to. So it just goes to show that first we have to develop a thing within ourselves in order to know how to move around the world, if that makes sense, or maneuver with others. And when I look at the moon in Virgo, it could be so critical and feel justified with, like, picking at oneself, like, this could be better, that could be better. And what helped me also with that Virgo energy within my chart was to ask myself, when it comes to me criticizing a thing about me, I would say, who or what am I comparing myself to? Why this isn't enough? Because for something to be perfect, in order for something to be perfect or to achieve perfection, there was something that was presented to us as a representation or an example of perfection. So it's like, what am I trying to live up to that I think that I am not? Why I'm beating myself up? And over time, like, that helped me to stop, like, trying to get things to be perfect. Whereas, like, last week or the week before, I recorded a bunch of videos and I don't know what happened, but the audio and the lip weren't synced. In the past, I would have sat and recorded everything over, and I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm not going to do all that over. Like, it's one thing if maybe, like, you know, something's obviously bad and it's hard to what, but it's like, people are going to be okay if they're actually watching and my voice, the sound in my lips aren't synced. Like no one will be hurt from that. Life goes on. Where before, that Virgo energy, that's that perfection energy. It's like, no, it needs to be perfect. And no, life goes on. Life goes on. And for me, that doesn't mean that it's not important to improve ourselves when it comes to things, but we improve because we want to improve and we know why we want to improve, opposed to improving because we're trying to compare or be like something else. So for me, becoming aware of that and not giving my power away when it comes to that, like that was a game changer for me. It's like less exhausting. It's so exhausting to always be feeling like, you know, like you're behind in some way or you're not living up to something. Is exhausting. And when it comes to today's energy, to me, that's the root underground feeling. But instead of feeling it, today's one of those days you woke up and you were supposed to maybe clean the house or do yard chores or whatnot, but instead you found yourself off and out and about, like just doing a whole bunch of nothing, because when the day is all done, you'll find that you are super busy or you are engaged in a bunch of random things, and what needed to get done didn't get done. And now the day is over. But that's because there were some hard things to feel today. And instead of feeling it, you know, we escaped, we ran off. So today is one of those days where it's like, if you have real things to do, important things to do, you want to create you a checklist, you want to get engaged with your calendar, you want to set your alarms and whatnot, because today is one of those days where it's easy to drift off, get lost, and end up nowhere, all because you didn't want to feel something. It was a pleasure sharing this message with you. Before you go anywhere, please let me know you're here with me by dropping me a blue heart in the comment box below. I would love to hear from you and look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Love yourself as if your life depended on it, because it does. Take care of yourself, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.